is the sovereign one whom is Elu'hymn. And the Od? Elu'hymn came to Jerusalem to celebrate the dedication of E's palace and the temple that David had prepared, and which Solomon had finished building for the glory and honor of Elu'hymn. Then Elu'hymn Yahweh, the sovereign king of all the heavens and the earth, whom was the king of Israel, came down from heaven to celebrate the dedication of the palace and the temple which was built for whom is the Holy One. 2 Chronicles 5:1. Thus all the works that Solomon made for the house of Elu'hymn, whom was the Od? Of Israel. When the house and the temple was now finished, then Solomon brought up all the things that his father David had prepared for the dedication of E's house and E's temple, with all the things that were made for the temple and the palace of Elu'hymn, which were created from clear gold and pure silver. And Solomon also brought up the Ark of the Covenant along with all the laws and the articles of the statutes which were the oracles from Elu'hymn. And the priest they also brought up all the instruments of music. And Solomon put them in the treasury of the house of Elu'hymn, which was in the temple that was now finished. 2 Chronicles 5:2. And then Solomon assembled all the elders of Israel, and all the heads of their tribes, and the chiefs and all the heads of all the tribes of the children of Israel, who all came up to the celebration in the city of Jerusalem. And so they all brought up the Ark of the Covenant from out of the city of David, which was also called Zion. 2 Chronicles 5:3. And all the men of Israel assembled themselves before whom is the King of all the heavens and the earth. And they had a feast which was called the Feast of Trumpets, and they also had the dedication of the palace of Elu'hymn, and the dedication of the newly built temple at the same time, which was on the same weeks of feasts, that was in the 7th month. 2 Chronicles 5:4. And all the elders of Israel, they all came to the feasts and the celebration and dedication, and the Levites took up the ark. 2 Chronicles 5:5. And they brought it up to Jerusalem. And they also brought up the articles of E's oracles, and all of E's laws, and all the statutes on the tablets that was written by Elu'hymn, that was in the Ark of the Covenant. And they also brought up the tabernacle of the congregation, and also all the holy vessels that were in the tabernacle. And these did the priests and the Levites brought up from Zion, and to Jerusalem, which was before times called the city of Jerusalem, which nowadays is called the city of Rome. 2 Chronicles 5:6. And then King Solomon, and all the congregation of Israel were assembled before Elu'hymn, with the ark. And for the feast of the dedication of all the sheep and the oxen, which was prepared for the multitude to be eaten, which was huge, and no one could number all the people, because of the multitude of people who all came to the dedication of the building, and for the Feast of Trumpets, and also for the dedication of the temple and E's palace at Jerusalem, and for the dedication of E's palace which was built for Elu'hymn. 2 Chronicles 5:7. And now because everyone was so excited about their sovereign king, whom is the sovereign of all the heavens and the earth, and that the priests that they had brought up the Ark of the Covenant of Elu'hymn, their Od, and also all of E's articles of the laws, which were the oracles which was given to all Israel, from Elu'hymn. So, then they put some of the articles of the laws which were the oracles which came Elu'hymn, and they put them in the palace that was built for Elu'hymn, whom is also called the Almighty, whom is the Od of Israel. And they put the Ark of E's covenant into the most holy place, in the temple, and even under the wings of E's cherubim. 2 Chronicles 5:8, because the cherubims, their wings were spreading over E's throne, and towards the palace and over the place where the ark was, which was under the cherubim wings which was covering the ark and the staves. And above them, there was the throne of Elu'hymn, which was stationed above the wings of E's cherubim. 2 Chronicles 5:9, and when the Levites drew out the staves of the ark, then the staves were not seen from above the throne which was above the ark, which was below the throne of Elu'hymn, and which was before the throne of Elu'hymn, that was underneath the cherubim wings, and which was overlooking the ark, which was before some of the articles of the oracles of Elu'hymn. And when they pushed them in, then they were seen, because the staves went through the ark, and then the ark was with staves. And then everyone could see that the ark was there in the holy place. And there it is unto this day. 2 Chronicles 5:10, and there was nothing in the ark save the 2 tablets when Moses put them in there at Mount Horeb, when he, the odd, had made a covenant with the children of Israel, when they first came out of Egypt. 2 Chronicles 5:11, and it came to pass, that when the priests came out of the holy place, that the priests had no other chores, so they were all present at the dedication, and some were singers and some were not, and not all were sanctified priests, and at that time they did not, then wait for their courses, nor were they given courses by Elu'hymn. 2 Chronicles 5:12, and also the Levites, they too were singers, and also there were other famous singers at the dedication. And there were great men like, the well-known musician and the psalmist Asaph, and Elu'hymn, and Jeduthun. And also their sons and their brethren, whom were also with them, and they were all dressed up and were all arrayed in white linen, and having their cymbals and their psalteries and also their harps. And they stood at the east end of the altar, and there were about 120 priests who were playing their instruments and blowing their trumpets. 2 Chronicles 5:13, and it came to pass even as the musicians were playing their instruments and the trumpeters were all blowing into their trumpets and the singers were singing and they were also playing their cymbals, and they were all playing skillfully to Elu'hymn. And while they were all there they were in one accord, and as they were there, they were all lifting up their voices, and they were lauding and praising Elu'hymn in the temple. And as they were lauding Elu'hymn, they were all in one accord, and they were making his praises glorious. And they were there giving thanksgivings to Elu'hymn in the temple, and while they were all there singing and playing and worshipping Elu'hymn with songs of praises and with music and with their trumpets and with their cymbals, and with the other instruments of music, that was there. And, as all the singers were praising and lauding Elu'hymn, the odd, they were all saying, all praises be to Elu'hymn, and to Elu and all hallels be to Elu the Son, and Hallel, Elu and as the singers were singing and praising the odd, and they were all saying, is good, and his mercy endures forever, and forever, as they were there, worshipping Elu'hymn. Then suddenly Elu'hymn appeared, and that was when everyone who was in the temple beheld the Holy Sovereign One. And everyone that was present in the house, they saw Elu when Elu'hymn appeared. And that was when the palace and the temple of Elu'hymn was filled with his cloud of majesty, as his Shekinah filled the palace, and even all the rooms in the temple was filled with the cloud of his glory, and from the glory of the Almighty Elu'hymn the odd, as his glory, and his Shekinah, filled the palace and the temple of Elu'hymn. And as the holy cloud of Elu'hymn, Shekinah and of his glory was everywhere, because the holy presence of Elu'hymn and glory permeated the rooms, throughout the entire temple, and the holy cloud filled his palace and also all the houses where they all were. 2 Chronicles 5:14, so, that the priests and everyone that were there, they could not stand before Elu'hymn. And, they all were in awe. And no one were able to move to minister to Elu'hymn. Not even the priests, because of the cloud and the glory of Elu'hymn. And because of the Shekinah of Elu'hymn. And the holy sovereignty of the odd, which had filled up all the houses and his palace, and the rooms in the temple. And everyone was in awe. And they all bowed down themselves in awe, and before Elu'hymn, the sovereign king, whom is the Almighty, and the Holy Sovereign One whom is odd. The end to be continued. Friends, please follow the link to my message called, E is Odd. Thank you.